Ladies and gentlemen, people of all ages, your boy Lord Nuxanor will consume all lore. It's inevitable. I was thinking of really starting to dive into Elden Ring stuff and Dark Souls stuff and Bloodborne stuff and Pokemon manga stuff. All the lore will be mine and will be consumed. But right now, we are doing the lore deep dive, consuming all the Warhammer 40k lore. So on the docket, by the Remembrancer, Lionel L. Johnson, we are going through all of the Primarchs. Now, that's the goal. So, every Primarch, as we know, God Emperor of Mankind, he rules all that shit, all right? Lord of the Imperium, if you even think a thought that is against him, that is heresy, and I will kill you. However, he had 20 sons. 20 Primarchs, basically demigods, and each one of them fought in different wars, and each one of them has a whole life story, because there are like 400 novels for the Warhammer 40k series. So, we're going through this. Lionel L. Johnson is the Primarch of the first platoon of Space Marines. So, we're going to be jumping right into this, and let's see what we got. Let's see the life story of Lionel L. Johnson.
In warfare, preparation is the key.
Bro, I just came. This guy's voice is so good. Holy shit.
Determine that which your foe prizes the most. Then sight your heavy weapons so that they overlook it.
All right.
In this way, you may be quite sure that you shall never want for targets.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Lionel L. Johnson. All right, dude is mega safe. All right, bro sits there and waits. He is cold and collected. If I remember from the very brief Space Marine Legion deep dive that we did, very brief, it's like an hour and a half long of diving into Space Marine Legions. But Lionel L. Johnson, if I remember correctly, he is authoritarianism and justice incarnate. So let's see what he does with all that shit.
The Primarchs of the Emperor's great Imperium were created to exemplify his indomitable will and fearless resolve.
Yeah, as we've already covered in my analysis of that shit, basically the Emperor obviously is a very multifaceted character, very complicated dude, and the Primarchs, each one of them represents another aspect of the Emperor. So Justice, for example, would be she be lying on my Johnson. All right, dude, that's not funny. But the Justice is represented by him. The bravery in fighting is, like the Jagatai Khan guy. So we're gonna get into the actual whole life story of this shit.
Each one of the sons of the Emperor bears a gift, and each one is seen as demigods above their respective legions.
Praise the Emperor! Dude, if not for Tzeentch, I'd be so much more of an Emperor stan, but Tzeentch is just so cool. Dude, the Lords of Change are so cool. I'm so glad we did the Greater Demon deep dive last week.
And the Imperium.
Yesterday, holy shit.
Itself. Created to bring the disparate worlds of humanity's lost brethren to the fore, reconstituting his Imperium into a united species, capable of conquering the entirety of the galaxy.
Yeah, humanity, baby! I love how Warhammer is like the bleakest world ever. The grim darkness of the future, there is only war. It's just depressive as shit, but it is the most inspiring love of humanity. Like, all these different groups of humans are fucked up. They're all evil pieces of shit in the Imperium, okay? These guys are authoritarian motherfuckers. But despite that, we love them because they're human. Isn't that wholesome? It's so wholesome! Ah! Wholesome Warhammer content.
Though Horus Lupercal would be chosen as War Master amongst his brothers, the title was...
Horus was the War Master? No. Wait, of the Primarchs, the Emperor chose Horus to be the War Master before he betrayed them? Oh, dude, the Horus... Okay, all right, we gotta definitely subscribe. Lionel L. Johnson, he's number 1. I think Horus is like the 10th Legion, the 12th Legion? So we have a ways to go until we cover the life story of Horus, but that's gonna be crazy.
Was considered for the only other son of the Emperor, worthy of the title.
Damn.
Lionel L. Johnson, Primarch of the 1st Legion, son of Caliban, and arguably the greatest general of the Imperium.
Whoa! That's a big freaking title. You got some absolute mad lads in the Imperium.
During the scattering of the Primarchs, Lionel L. Johnson would be cast to the surface of a deaf world.
Right, so basically, lore dive, the Emperor, he's building his humanity, okay? He's building up humanity after the Dark Age of technology and the Age of Strife and all that shit. So what he does is, because he personally cannot command humans on every planet, he has he makes 20 Primarch sons! Right, I was gonna say he has, but that makes it sound like he's human and the Emperor's a god. So the Emperor creates 20 Primarch sons, scatters them throughout to basically maintain humanity's chokehold on the galaxy to the greatest of his abilities.
With enormous, terrifying, chaos-forged beasts, L. JONSON would survive alone for 10 years within the vast forests of Caliban.
Bro, they just, what? They airdropped Lionel L. Johnson into just a chaos pile? And they were like, all right, bro, survive for 10 years fighting chaos beasts, and then we'll give you a legion of your own. Oh my god, now that's a baptism, ladies and gentlemen. That's how the Emperor baptizes his boys.
The feral child would be discovered by the Knights of the Order, a band of humans whom inhabited the small outposts of Caliban.
Damn.
Already a towering figure.
Oh, he didn't scatter them? The Chaos Gods did? Wait. So as babies, the Chaos Gods scattered the Primarchs so that the Emperor wouldn't have a unified force of 20 Primarchs in his army. So they scattered him throughout the galaxy, and they dropped Lionel L. Johnson into fucking Chaos Swampland.
L. JONSON would be seen as a threat by the Knights and be injured.
Oh, man.
The knight known as Luther would prevent his execution and bring the child to the Order's fortress monastery.
Base Luther!
Luther would name the child Lion L. JONSON.
Wait, so he got his name from Luther, a random Knight of Order on some planet that found him after surviving in the forest for 10 years? That's crazy.
Translated from Caliban, meaning lion, son of the forest.
Johnson is forest in that language? Oh my god, dude. Yeah, right. I'm thinking of my bush when I'm thinking about Johnsons.
His forename given to represent the fierce Calibanite lion, the deadliest beast that resided within the forest.
Wait, dude is actually just Yoda. So all the Primarchs that get scattered throughout the galaxy, were they all adopted and raised by different human groups on those planets? Johnson is wood, so his son of the forest. Lionel L. Johnson, because Johnson is wood. Ah, yes, my Johnson is very wood-like.
As a son of the Emperor, L. JONSON would learn with incredible speed, mastering the Calibanite language within weeks of Luther's care. Forging a familial bond with Luther, the Lion would demonstrate his incredible intelligence for strategy, and with only a few short years, the Lion and Luther would rise through the ranks of the Order.
Let's go!
With their exploits known throughout Caliban, the Lion would propose a crusade to be waged against the
but against the heretics!
Beasts within the forest.
Alright, beasts, whatever. Beasts aren't worshipping the Emperor, so they're also heretics. I stand you, my guy. I stand you, my dude.
With the goal of eradicating them once and for all, and for Caliban to be free of the danger they posed.
Damn.
Though hesitant to accept his proposal, Luther's oratory prowess would convince the Grand Masters of the Order to relent, and with the Lion at the fore of the crusade, within 10 years the beasts of the forests would be exterminated.
Wait, so it took them 10 years, well, him surviving alone for 10 years in the wilderness, and then after a couple of years, he manages to rise in the ranks to convince them to, you know, crusade against these furries. Oh my god, this is the furry crusade! Lionel L. Johnson did the furry crusade. That's crazy. And it took another 10 years to exterminate all the chaos from the planet and free it. That's based as shit. They just did a crusade across a planet. Dude actually got isekai'd into the wild world and just cleared it.
L. JONSON, fulfilling his promise, would be renamed Supreme Grand Master of the Order, igniting the first flickering flames of jealousy within Luther's heart.
No, Luther doesn't betray him. Luther, you named him. You named him, you raised him. No, you can't!
The Lion would then demand the knightly orders outside of the influence of the Order to join him, with only the Knights of Lupus rejecting his command. The Knights of Lupus would be put to the sword, and the Lion would command the entirety of the Knights of Caliban.
Ladies and gentlemen, that there is authoritarian prowess at its finest. I command you all to gather here. The Knights of Lupus say no, and they're like, no problem, and they execute all of them, because disobeying is heresy. We need to be unified, god damn it. Holy shit, man was a psycho. He was an actual authoritarian monarch. He was a borderline tyrant. I was not asking you, that wasn't a proposal, Lupus!
During a
Then they named the disease lupus after them.
Ceremonial last hunt of the beasts of Caliban, scout forces of the Emperor would discover the Primarch and aid in the hunt with the Terran-born Astartes of the First Legion.
Yo!
The Lion would be given command of his gene sons of the First Legion. The Knights of the Order who were too old to undergo the transformation to Astartes would also be genetically modified.
Based. So they ended up finding him as the leader of the order that wiped out the beasts of Caliban and put him in his rightful place as commander of the first fucking legion of Astartes.
With Luther being the first to undergo the procedure, then joining his Primarch as his most trusted ally and second in command of the Legion.
Let's go, dude!
A final gift from the Emperor, the Lion would be given the invincible reason, the Imperium's first Gloriana class flagship.
Let's go, dude.
The Lion would discover his new legion had been fractured over their years of conquest before being reunited with their Primarch. The legion had adopted a vainglorious and prideful attitude, leading to many losses within its ranks.
Pride? Pride? Individual pride? All of your pride belongs to the Emperor. Bro, apparently there's a whole video detailing the modifications that Astartes undergo. They get 13 new organs. Okay, dude, we'll get into that at some point.
Due to reckless campaigns and strategies.
You fool! Recklessness will not be tolerated. Glory is a vice. We fight for the Emperor.
The Lion would test the captains of each of his legion's companies by dueling them in single combat.
How is that a test? It's like, do you have pride? Well, I will fight you in single combat to see.
His enemies clad in Terminator power armor, himself without.
You're kidding me! He went up against, he just stood there in his underwear, dick out, waving, flapping in the wind, going up against someone in 10, 20-ton power armor to fight this guy in like an actual Agni Kai. Oh my god, that's insane.
The Lion would best his sons each time and bolster respect between the legion's Terran.
Well, that's how you do it. It's like, oh, you think you have pride? Then he beats him buck naked. And it's like, oh, what about you? Oh, you want a tank? All right, no problem. Then he beats him buck naked. That's a fucking flex. That's how you command fucking respect. Holy shit.
Caliban warriors.
Seeing Johnson's Johnson was the real test of their pride.
Even merging the Legion's hexagrammaton and Caliban teachings to allow for cohesion within its ranks.
Let's go, dude.
The Lion would also lead a...
Yeah, that's one of the biggest flexes in anime. I have to do a biggest flexes in Warhammer at some point. You know that? After I finish covering all this shit, I have to do a biggest flexes in Warhammer.
New crusade consisting of 20,000 of his Legion to scour the galaxy for the lost companies who had been abandoned in years past. Within a few years, the Lion's crusade had caused the number of his legion to swell, ending his crusade with 100,000 Astartes rescued from the various corners of the galaxy.
He actually built himself back up. That's crazy. Oh man, look at this guy.
At the stronghold of Grimea, the Lion would duel the Council of Masters champion, Pyrrhus Caligat, the host of fire. After an hour-long duel, the Lion would succeed and be proclaimed the Grand Master of the assembled First Legion Masters.
Dude is like the actual GOAT. The actual GOAT. That's crazy. Lionel out here, he literally walks up to every single opponent and he says, listen, I will duel you, but only so that you can gain so much respect for me. You will want to work for me. He created unity through mutual respect of him. And because he gave all of his respect to the goddamn Emperor, he created the first fucking Legion of the Primarchs. That's so badass. That is so badass.
Here the Lion would formalize the Legion under a new name, the Dark Angels.
The Dark Angels. And that's what they're known as today, right? This all happened years ago. This was all probably before the Horus Heresy. So this happened a very, very long time ago. And now they're known as the Dark Angels. Someone that unified all these various warring branches purely and utterly because he was able to whip and nay all over them. He literally teabagged every general until they respected him.
The title based after an old Caliban myth.
And he still ties it back to his origins on Caliban. That's so wholesome. He didn't let like the ego of being a Primarch get to his head. He still respected the Caliban where he was raised.
Angels of darkness descended on pinions of fire and light. The great and terrible Dark Angels. The Lion would also be deemed worthy of command of the 6 wings of the hexagrammaton.
Alright.
The Death Wing, Raven Wing, Dread Wing, Fire Wing, Iron Wing, and Storm Wing. During the Great Crusade, the Lion would be dispatched with the 4th Expeditionary Fleet to campaign on the world of Sarosh. Unknown to the Imperium, the Saroshi people, though wishing to become members
Dude, isn't Sarosh the name of the lion in Elden Ring? There's no way. Brothers, this is Sarosh. My brothers. Sarosh is the lion. Godfrey's lion is Sarosh. Is that a Warhammer reference? It's crazy how going into Warhammer lore, I'm seeing the references literally everywhere. That is so badass.
Of the Imperium were worshippers of the forces of chaos.
Boom!
Aboard the ship of the Invincible Reason, the Saroshi leader would confront the Lion, leading to the Dark Angels and Saroshi to engage in battle. the Saroshi would smuggle a nuclear explosive aboard the ship, which would be found by Junior Dark Angel's librarian, Zahariel.
It's crazy that there is lore of the Junior Dark Angel Zahariel. Also, did they put like the EL at the end of every single's name, like the, you know, like the biblical angels? So, you know, you have Uriel and Raphael and Michael and all those guys. Like, so they put EL at the end of all their names. That's kind of funny.
And Luther. Luther would hesitate, but eject the device from the ship, reducing the damage caused by its explosion. However, for allowing such a weapon to be allowed under their watch, the Lion would send Luther, Zahariel, and 200 Dark Angels in disgrace back to Caliban.
Oh my god! Oh my god, dude. This guy's literally no jokes. You make a mistake and we are excommunicating you. This is Luther. The guy that raised him, named him, was his most trusted confidant. He literally figured it out and saved them. Dude is so hard. That's insane. And he just chucks him out in disgrace because of a simple misstep. Dude is literally justice incarnate. Which is a strength, but it is also such a flaw. Oh my god.
Fanning the flames of resentment in Luther and his men. As the Lion's exploits throughout the Crusade would be relayed to Caliban, Luther would continue to stew in his exile. With the discovery of a mysterious tome on Caliban, Luther would further degenerate from the loyal friend and warrior the Lion
No. Luther doesn't join Chaos. There's no way.
Into a bitter shell of his former self. During the opening events of the Horus Heresy,
Luther does not join the Horus Heresy. The Lion doesn't fuck around. I see that, but you see why that's a blessing and the curse. There is a very famous Talmudic doctrine that is never push someone away with two hands. If you want to push someone away with one hand, make sure your other hand is always there to draw him back close. Famous doctrine. But like, dude, pure and utter justice is evil. It's an extreme. It is an extreme. It's Slanesh territory. God damn.
The War Master would grow anxious with the knowledge that the Lion would remain loyal to the Emperor. The honor of War Master was a title contested, but all sons of the Emperor knew that the most likely candidates would be Horus or the Lion.
That's crazy. Horus was chosen as the War Master, peak Emperor's son over there, all right? So that's how Horus got the position. Lionel was probably the second choice, but didn't get it. And then Horus actually becomes the guy to betray the Empire.
As such, Horus needed to keep his brother from engaging him in the most crucial battles of his betrayal. Therefore, Horus would dispatch Confronting Curze and his legion of Night Lords.
Alright, don't know those guys. Oh, the Night Lords, wait a second. So the Night Lords joined Chaos, right? They were like the 11th Legion, let's say. I could be wrong. But so the Night Lords joined the Horus Heresy because they ended up becoming some of the chaotic guys. Got it. They're the savages and brutes, right?
To distract the Dark Angels. Curze would invite JONSON to battle on the planet of Sagualza, and once engaged in battle, he would share his preternatural gift of foresight, revealing the fate of the Dark Angels and their betrayal from within.
Oh my god, dude. Conrad is an edgy psycho Primarch. It's the evil Batmans. That's wild. So this was literally a battle between two complete separate legions. This was a battle between two separate legions. The Dark Angels versus what were these guys called? The Night Lords. This is how the Horus Heresy started, and he foretold a betrayal within the actual Dark Angels. And that was probably Luther, who turned against him because his justice was too absolute. Fuck, dude. That's crazy.
The Lion and Night Haunter would engage, both crippled from the battle.
Wait, so they actually fought straight up? Primarch versus Primarch? Oh my god! Lionel L. Johnson going up there in one-on-one combat versus Conrad guy, the Night Lord. That's crazy! Actual Primarch on Primarch battle. Okay, dude, my man Lionel has to take this W. There were a few Primarch smackdowns during the heresy. Alright, well, that's why we're going through the life story of every Primarch.
With the Lion's throat cut, and Curze's torso impaled by the Lion's sword.
Base, fucking yes! Send that edgelord to the Shadow Realm, my goat!
As the injured Primarch retreated, the Lion would demand his legion to pursue, eventually warp-traveling through space in pursuit of the Night Haunter. The Lion would reinstate the chapter's Librarius to aid in combating the foul demonic forces within the warp. Standing in defiance of the Emperor's will, he would be confronted by Chaplain Nemiel,
is he also, I mean, by the EL name at the end of his name, I assume he's probably one of the Night Angels, one of the Dark Angels?
Lion would kill for his defiance. During the height of the battle within the warp, emissary of Tzeentch, Kairos Fateweaver.
Hey, we know Kairos Fateweaver when we did the Demon Deep Dive. He's one of the Lords of Change, Generals of Tzeentch.
Would tempt the Lion to join the forces of Chaos.
Kairos? Wait, Kairos Fateweaver, one of the Lords of Change, straight up met up with Lionel L. Johnson to try to tempt him. That's like an unstoppable force versus an immovable object. Oh my god.
Unflinching in his purpose, the Lion would reward the Chaos Demon's bargain by plunging his sword through the demon's heart.
That's crazy. For someone that didn't do the lore deep dive on the demons, that probably doesn't sound so crazy to you. But that's insane. Kairos Fateweaver knows the future. Literally knows the future, is an omniscient creature. So powerful in his knowledge that Tzeentch himself, the god of change, uses him as a fortune teller.
As the invincible reason
but somehow, he was just so goddamn stubborn. The Lion was so freaking resolute in his justice and loyalty to the Imperium, it didn't even faze him.
escaped the warp, the Dark Angels would ambush the forces of Curze and his Night Lords.
Alright.
Resulting in the Angels taking the remaining fledgling Night Lords prisoner, including their first captain, Sevatar.
Wait, so did they actually just wipe out the Night Lords?
However, Conrad Curze would sneak into the Invincible Reason, and for months elude the patrols sent to find him within the ship.
Wait, he survived for months in the actual ship? In the actual ship, bro. And he kept surviving. Okay, I'm so excited to do the Conrad Curze Night Lord deep dive.
Even the Lion would attempt to catch the Night Haunter, but to no avail, with the Night Lord's prisoners eventually escaping and retreating into the void. With the arrival
of course. Well, I mean, ultimately, we got to do a power scaling all the guys at some point, and apparently, my goat out here, Lionel, is just so much stronger than Conrad Curze. The Dark Angels, like, they humiliated the Night Lords. Oh my god.
The Ruin Storm and the blotting out of the Astronomicon in the later stages of the heresy, the Lion realized that travel to aid in the defense of Terra would become impossible. Instead, the First Legion would pursue the light of the alien device known as the Pharos and travel to the Ultramar capital of Macragge. Regrouping with Primarch Roboute Guilliman of the
Guilliman! Ultramarine guy! Everyone loves Guilliman for some reason. I don't know. We'll get into him when we get to the, we'll get into that.
Marines 13th Legion and Primarch Sanguinius of the 9th Legion.
Sanguinius! Okay, I can't wait to get to him. He's the best. Dude, Sanguinius is right now, for me, who's only done the dive into the actual different factions in the Marines, not the actual life stories of these guys. Sanguinius seems like he's actually just awesome. He seems like he's literally one of the best, for sure. At least one of my favorites. Didn't he sacrifice himself in the Horus Heresy? Didn't Horus actually end up killing him? He's the fucking Dio of the Primarchs. 5 Primarchs died during the Heresy. Don't spoil it for me. Don't spoil it for me.
Blood Angels. With the galaxy torn in two, the 3 Primarchs would establish the Imperium Secundus, with the Lion serving as its Lord Protector, a moniker alike to Horus Lupercal's title of War Master.
Okay, so after the Heresy started, Lionel did actually get his spot as first in command.
This meeting would be marred by the escape of Conrad Curze onto Macragge, wreaking havoc throughout the Ultramarine homeworld. The Lion and Guilliman would be left.
Dude, this fucking guy, this Conrad guy, Night Lord Primarch, is such an asshole. Oh my god.
Led into a trap by Curze as he detonated the,
to quote Neiman Russ, the Night Haunter has the powers of the insane,
chapel harboring his salvation on top of the Primarchs. Their deaths were prevented by the intervention of Iron Warrior Barabbas Dantiok and Imperial Fist Alexis Pollux using the Pharos device, teleporting the Primarchs to Sofa. Feeling responsible.
Wait, so they actually had to retreat from Macragge? They actually did have to run away? That's kind of sad. He skins people alive? Well,
responsible for the mayhem caused by Curze, the Lion would relentlessly.
So it's crazy. Even though they actually beat Conrad Curze in single combat, like in single combat, Lionel L. Johnson whooped his ass. Still, his threat of just bringing chaos everywhere, torturing the populace, threatening any form of assassinations was so scary. He made all these Primarchs flee an entire planet because of the havoc he was wreaking. So it's true in single combat, he got bested. Obviously, his strength is just spreading horror and chaos where he goes.
Hunt down the Night Haunter with the aid of his Dreadwing of the Hexagrammaton. Eventually finding Curze, they would battle again.
Rematch, baby! Rematch! Alright, kick this fraud.
Resulting in the Lion ripping Curze's power pack from his armor and breaking his spine.
Bro baned him! Dude got baned! Yo! Well, they kicked that edgelord's ass. Holy shit.
Conrad Curze would be brought to Sanguinius and Guilliman and stand trial. A rift.
They still gave him a trial after all that? Curze will do everything he can to get you to turn around just so he could stab you in the back. Honestly, well, I guess we know why he fell to chaos.
Had been created between the Lion and Rebute. Their relationship strained with the Lion's use of his legion commanding martial law during the pursuit of Curze.
I mean, I understand that. You had this guy Curze out there literally terrorizing the planet. Imposing martial law to catch this guy kind of makes sense. This is a Primarch. The fact that a Primarch fell to chaos is so horrifying. He's a demigod. Everything needs to be done to catch this guy. Absolute justice, baby. Curze
would further add salt to the wound by claiming that the Lion had orbitally bombarded Macragge in direct violation of Rebute's orders.
Wow, Curze out there. Dude, he got stabbed once. He ran away. They captured his troops. He hides in the ship. They find him again. He runs away. He's causing chaos in the fucking planet to the point that they imposed martial law. They broke his spine. They captured him, and he is still sowing the seeds of chaos and doubt, claiming that this dude was committing war crimes on the home planet of a different guy.
The Lion would attempt to kill Curze there and then.
Based, fucking end him. He's a servant of chaos. He's a Primarch. He's dangerous as shit.
Until Rebute would break the Lion's sword.
Oh god.
Sanguinius would end the triumvirate, with the Lion being banished from Imperium Secundus.
Wait, because of possible misinformation spread by Curze, the Lion ended up stripped of his rank as leader of the Imperium Secundus and was embarrassed, even though he was literally just a fist of justice. He withstood a Lord of Chain, tempting him to rebel against the Imperium. He withstood that, and he still fought for the Emperor. He beat Curze twice, and they still sent him away because of this propaganda. Oh my god.
Sanguinius would resolve to kill the Night Haunter until the Lion would intervene.
What?
Seeking to keep Curze as his jailer and use the Night Haunter's visions of the future to his advantage.
Oh, so they wanted to keep him around for his future telling it. Alright.
The Primarchs would brave the Ruin Storm in order to reach Holy Terror. Guilliman and the Lion would fight side by side in their efforts to distract the garrison of Horus Lupercal's forces, so that Sanguinius might breach their blockade and reach Holy Terror. They would succeed, with the Great Angel taking Curze as his prisoner before the assault on the blockade. As the Primarchs parted ways, and with the Astronomicon becoming dark, travel to Terra would become impossible.
Wait, so the Lion and Guilliman were still out there fighting Horus's forces, but Sanguinius managed to take Curze prisoner and go to Terra first.
The Lion would instead purge the traitor homeworlds of Fulgrim, Primarch of the Emperor's Children, and Mortarion, Primarch of the Death Guard. The worlds of Chemos and Barbarous would be left as no more than rubble.
Oh my god, this Horus heresy was big. That was crazy.
With time, the Lion would learn of the Emperor's fate, Sanguinius' death, and the near destruction of the Imperium's forces.
I can't believe Sanguinius died, bro. I can't believe Horus killed my goat Sanguinius like that.
During the Siege of Terra. Stricken with grief and nihilistic guilt, the Lion returned to Caliban. Unaware that the men he had left to garrison the planet from threats would soon turn against him.
Oh my god, no. No. Dude, after the Horus Heresy, I thought that for sure that the people that he left on Caliban would betray him during the Horus Heresy. Not wait for him to come back broken and tragic. The death of his brother, the crippling of his father.
Luther would command his men to fire upon the returning fleet.
Brother.
The Lion would learn of Luther's betrayal and the poisoning of his legionnaires' minds stationed on Caliban.
That's awful.
To rid his homeworld of chaos corruption, the Lion would orbitally bombard Caliban.
That's the most tragic shit in the universe. Because he pushed them away too forcefully, because they fucked up once. They ended up turning on him and betraying him. He was blind to all of that. They went to his homeworld and corrupted everyone else to rebel against him. And he felt like the only cure for this betrayal is orbitally bombarding his home planet. It's like a Greek tragedy. Lionel L. Johnson, a man that was too just. Pure and utter justice will bite you in the ass, baby. You need a balance.
With the planet burned and its defenses crippled, the Lion would lead a force to the planet's surface. The fallen Dark Angels would be cornered inside the Fortress Monastery, where the Lion would confront the now chaos-corrupted Luther. They would duel, with Luther now empowered by the forces of chaos. He was a match, even for the Lion.
What? Luther got that strong? So obviously, first of all, Curze was right. Predicted this shit. He said that you would be betrayed by your own guys. God damn.
With a psychic attack, Luther would wound the lion, and with his primal desire to best his former friend sated, the corruption that had consumed him would subside. Stricken with guilt, Luther would relent and allow the secretive Watchers in the Dark to retrieve their Primarch's body.
Oh my god, dude. So wait, so he technically won that fight because Chaos corrupted him. Oh my god, dude. Because Chaos corrupted him, he ended up winning that fight with a Psyker attack. And then because it subsided the Chaos that he wanted revenge, he felt awful. Oh my god, dude. What a fucked up story. Imagine fighting your best friend like that.
Shortly thereafter, the forces of Chaos would summon a warp storm to destroy Caliban. The Dark Angels would imprison Luther and vow to destroy the traitor fallen angels whom had betrayed their kin. With the destruction of Caliban, the First Legion would salvage the debris.
Wait, so Caliban is actually destroyed at this point. So Caliban ended up getting wiped out, not by the orbital bombardment, but by the Chaos warp storm that was caused by Luther crippling Lionel L. Johnson.
Of the planet and transform it into a vast spacefaring vessel. Both homeworld and flagship, they would name it the Rock. Housing deep within its
Dwayne the Caliban Johnson
core their prisoner of the fallen, Luther, and deeper still, the body of Lionel Johnson, held in stasis until his body would recover enough for him to lead his legion once again.
So wait, so in the current story, is he still crippled like that? Is he still wounded this mortally by fucking Luther?
And bring the vengeance of his angels back to the galaxy.
Fun fact, he just recently woke up and returned to the 41st millennium. Let's go!
The measure of true glory is not to give battle in the bright noon of war, surrounded by brave comrades upon the field of victory, but to valiantly fight on alone in the darkness.
Damn.
With no hope of aid or even remembrance, and to spit defiant in Midnight's eye.
That's it, baby. Lionel L. Johnson, Reflections of the Mirror of War. Guys, that's honestly inspiring. I love this story. Lionel L. Johnson, an actual goat. Actual goat? Wait, does he cover the new lore?
This has been a tale of the great Imperium of Man, read by the Remembrancer.
Wait, this video is 2 years old. Does he not actually see? The name of the book where he wakes up is called The Son of the Forest. Bro, there's no way. So what happens to Lionel after he wakes up? Because he actually does come back. Returns to the Dark Angels, returns to Warhammer 40k. That's so dope. And he is not happy, it seems. Oh my god. He is not happy with what's going on right now. Oh, what a sick story. Lore actually started moving forward for the first time in ages over the last couple of years. Oh my glob. That's dope. All right, well, maybe we'll look at Son of the Forest lore in the future. But this was the life story of Lionel L. Johnson. Honestly, a tragic story that goes to show, even though he was resolute in his ideals, not everyone has the same strength of mind as he does. And if you always perceive everyone else to have the same strength of mind that you have, well, ladies and gentlemen, if you perceive that, you will push people away with 2 hands, when you should only be pushing people away with 1 when they make a mistake, and leave your other hand free to beckon them back close. This was the mistake of Lionel L. Johnson. What a ride. What a story. Dude was literally a goat. Biggest flexes in Warhammer, fighting his generals completely naked, and also literally cooking Kairos Fate Weaver. My god. All right, this was awesome. Next time, we got Fulgrim. Oh, dude, this is gonna be so good. All right, let me know if you want more Primarch lore, lifestyle deep dives. Subscribe for future lore, and bye. If you made it to the end, click one of these 2 videos, which also will definitely get me canceled. See you live on King. Stay weird, fam.